What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel and to my FIFA 21 Team of the Week prediction series. I do this every week, as you already know this, but it's basically just consisting of me chatting about what's to come for the game in, the coming weeks, and maybe explaining which cards I'd expect to see featured throughout the weeks to come, how the cards might look, and most importantly how they might affect the transfer market within the game, and then maybe just an overall check on the channel, maybe an update if there is anything to talk about. And then finally, just before we get on with the video, for those who don't already know, as I just said, this is a weekly series. That means that every Monday or Tuesday at the very latest, I will bring out a video for this, being that, when all these players play in real life, these cards kind of represent whether they've played well or not for their club and or country. And so this week, I have to say it's a pretty decent squad. And if you do come to enjoy these sort of videos that I make sure to subscribe to the channel with your notifications on to never miss any uploads when they go live. For you, the viewer, and with any video ideas, thoughts or feedback on the content, feel free to comment down below as well. And then for my socials, if you want to get in contact with me or you want to see any graphics or anything that I have on these pages, my links will be in the description box down below. And as we obviously have gotten that all out the way, we will start with the predictions now. And starting with the bench players, as always, as the typically lesser important section of these videos, and to just ease us into the video, I'd say, starting with the first 4 players being Guzman of the Mexican League, for his several saves and the man of the match performance for Tigres. Rangers' very own Goldson at centre back, bagging himself 2 goals in the Celtic game. With it being a derby, it's all the more reason to actually give him the card. Be it a not very exciting card, not exactly the best league in terms of FIFA anyways. Maybe, yeah, he is English, but I don't know, I don't see people actually using the card, even at this stage, especially considering how many coins are in the game. But, whether he's benched or not, he deserves to get into the squad for me, no doubt. And then Max of PSV, he is a very important player for that side rather, where the German did admittedly have a field day in the Eredivisie, and he managed to actually, perform better than everyone else in the team. But it was just more so the fact that, he's doing this from left back and he was just controlling the game. I did think that maybe he was playing like left mid or something because he was always in attack, but I guess I just put him left back because that's his normal position. And then Boha or at the end there, we'll brush over him because his card's not that good, but again, he's a name that will probably feature on the reserves or something for this team. And then on to the next lot, he's still on the bench of course, but the next 3 in El Arabi, a guy who has had a lot of special cards over the previous few years, and the hat-trick hero for this week being himself and a man at match performance to go with it. Not far from with Ibra, who, maybe Ibra didn't do as well, but maybe he is in the Serie A, so his 2 goals and an 85 rated inform to commend that. I guess I have to say it's not that bad, especially considering his age. And then lastly for this screen and for the bench, I did go with Bamba of Lille for what looks to be a pretty interesting card. Obviously he does offer some decent link with him playing for Lille and just being in the Ligue 1, and also the fact that he's French as well, but I do have to say he's probably not going to be the most sought after player. He just has the pace and decent shooting. He's a pretty low rated player, so I wouldn't expect to cost too much, but Bamba gets in that team, and it'll be very interesting to see how much he's worth on the market. And then with the bench kind of over and done with, we will move on to the starting 11 now, the best part, but we'll start with the goalkeeper spot as usual. And starting with Jan Oblak for his man at match performance between the sticks, ending 2-0 for Atletico against Celta Vigo, I think it was. The sheer plethora of shots that he were actually saving, and the fact that obviously he kept the clean sheet to go with that, leaves him a very possible feature. Not definite though, because they don't seem too keen on putting the best keepers into these squads, and it could end up being like Schmeichel or something for his Denmark performance, or we'll just have to see how it goes. And then just in front and just ahead with the defense, I did opt for Angelino for Leipzig, having kept a clean sheet and providing assists that helped his side go on to beat Augsburg with ease. Onto the next defender in Digne, a pretty well-known defender I'd say at this point, just because the previous special cards he's had over the last year or so have had a lot of pace, and therefore he's been quite meta. But playing for Getafe in the La Liga, for his clean sheet too, beating Barcelona 1-0 at the weekend. He didn't get the goal, and I'm pretty sure he didn't get the assist, but it was more the fact that, he just kept out Messi, and he kept a lot of other players just away from the possession and, away from the box ultimately. And obviously they went on to win the game just by the 1-goal margin, but, it's enough to beat the side. And then Florenzi to finish off the defence for PSG, a new signing, and he did happen to play his debut on the weekend, and what a game it was for him as well. He created so many chances in that game, it's actually unbelievable. But I suppose, you know, when you have the confidence coming into a new side, I guess it might happen with a lot of players like him. He's very all-rounded, very good in attack. And yeah, like I said, he created so many chances. He hit the woodwork a couple times, as far as I'm aware. And he did get the goal for himself as well. I think it was a header. I did think that were offside, but I guess it wasn't. And I'm unsure on whether Mbappe might get the inform this week instead. Or maybe Sarabia, who are also, you know, possible players. But I think, you know, with Florenzi having the one to watch and being a brand new player, getting a debut goal and playing really well, it's most likely going to go to him. Especially with the scarcity of actual top defenders during the Team of the Weeks, it's very difficult to pick a side. But as we move on to the midfield and few up next, as typically the best set of players, but I do have to say, as much as that is true, this week has to be an exception. So hold on tight here, because I do want to cover Memphis Depay, who, you know, he's a centre forward, but I believe he played cam in this game. Thomas Moore the same, and Lozano of Napoli, who himself did actually play absolutely insane, and I will get onto him. But starting with the Leon man, who did get a hat-trick, but of assists, but that, even then, that's still amazing, and, you know, an almost 10 out of 10 performance. Muller next to him with the 3 contributions himself, but 2 goals and 1 assist, I believe. And then Lozano with the 85 rated second inform card. It's quite interesting. Might be a reason why he doesn't get the card, but for me, a Napoli player will get it. And Lozano, with him bagging a brace with inside first 20 minutes of the first half, I kind of have to give it to him. He's a very good player, very meta, and he should be pretty valuable in the game. You know, ultimately leads us on to the attackers. The very exciting part of this week, I'd say, with Marcus Rashford up front. You know, he's going to be so expensive, but of Manchester United, the Englishman, you know, had a sudden outcry of top form against Newcastle, and you know, it might have been a pretty boring game throughout. Newcastle weren't the best side, and United aren't exactly impressing everyone, but a quick turnaround. I think it was like the 84th minute, they got the second goal to make it 2-1, then 3-1, then 4-1, and Rashford was like the biggest part in that. He was so instrumental. Bruno obviously got a goal, and I believe Wan-Bissaka got a goal as well, which could also give it to him. But I did give it to Rashford just because, you know, the hype around the players. He is actually overpowered in FIFA 21. And giving him, you know, his first special card at year wouldn't harm anyone. Timo Werner, very similar player in some respects, but this guy of Chelsea, he did manage to bag himself 2 goals for Chelsea and get an assist, assisting Kai Havertz against Southampton. Again, the result wasn't very good, ended a draw at like 3-3. Somehow Southampton managed to clutch it in the last minute of the game, but that's nothing to take away from Werner, I think, and especially with the fact that he did get a goal and an assist for Germany in the same week previously as well. It means that he's a pretty big candidate, I'd say, and he'd be very expensive, and hence a lot of the hype around him as a player. But it just goes to show how it affects the market, and you know, you have to be careful when it comes to buying and selling players and not panic selling as well, with the market being on the floor right now. Harry Kane next to him as somebody who's clearly firing on all cylinders, undeniably. But I guess with a bit of misfortune, Spurs did actually suffer dropped points against West Ham in their insane comeback. Kane almost got his hat-trick, but I guess it just wasn't to be. But with him, Son and Bale, it could be very dangerous up top for Spurs. Like I said, Tottenham did obviously suffer a comeback, and Lanzini was a big part of that, and does deserve a mention because his cracker of an equaliser was easily the goal of the season so far. And you know, it won't be much of a surprise to me, at least, if it became goal of the season and it didn't get topped all year. And then Romelu Lukaku of Inter Milan, finally, just to finish off the video as a whole, with his brace, and what a season it actually has been for the Belgian. You know, whether it be for Belgium, where he's netted all these penalties, and he's a very good striker, very good target man, and you know, he's proven his worth outside of Man United, so you have to just say fair play to him. And like I said, that does pretty much round off the squad for this week. A pretty good side overall, I'd say, with some big names. Some honourable mentions to the likes of Mbappe, Lewandowski, Jota, you know, to up his ones to watch. Maybe a couple of other big names as well that could make this team even better. But I'd say it does make a pretty great week, I'd say, especially considering that this is the first week of Champs rewards coming on Thursday, so it's a pretty good timing, I'd say. And then anyways, as I mentioned before, that does pretty much settle it. So as I said right at the start, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, especially if you enjoyed the video. So make sure to, you know, leave a like rating as well. Make sure to check out some of the other series ready to go out on the channel, or you know, that are already out. I've got player reviews coming very soon. Could have a look at the Road to Glory videos that I have coming and rolling out over the past week or so. I really do appreciate everyone's support, and I'll continue to upload on the channel as much as I can. And yeah, in those videos, I guess I'll see you next time. Peace.